Yo, what's up, guys? So we're back for another week of UFC action. This week we got UFC 315, big card in Montreal, Canada. This is the first time the UFC's gone to Canada in a little while now, and 2 title fights on this card. They might not be the biggest, baddest title fights the UFC could make, but anytime there's gold on the line, you know it's going to be a high-level fight. Belal Muhammad versus Della Madallena in the main event. We got Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot in the co-main event. Pretty decent fights throughout the whole card. Jose Aldo's on the card, some other really good fighters. So excited to break it down, man. And we've been doing really well recently. We've been really hitting some good underdogs. We've been having good picks on regional promotions and in the UFC. We've been giving out good betting advice on the channel and good free plays. So go over to patreon.com/PredictionGuru and support the channel, man. I think that giving out good information right now, I feel like you'll be able to make some money over there, and you're going to be supporting keeping this channel going and just having some fun with the community, man. So go over there, sign up, and besides that, hit the like button. Let's try to get as many likes as possible. Let's try to get some comments on here, whatever the comments are, and try to boost this video a little bit in the algorithm, get it out for more people to see it, because I feel like we've been really doing well giving it to the bookies recently. So let's keep it going on UFC 315. Let's go to the first fight of the night here. And starting us off, we got a fight that was put together on relatively short notice, but it has one of Canada's most recognizable fighters in Brad Katona, and he's going to be taking on Bekzat Almaken, who's going to be trying to get in the win column in the UFC for the very first time. And Katona, he is a 2-time tough winner. Obviously, he's had some good success in the UFC with 4 wins, but 4-4 in his 8 UFC fights. He's 2-2 in his second stint with the UFC, and he's coming off a loss in October. And when he came into the UFC after the second win on Ultimate Fighter, he beat Cody Gibson, and it seemed like he was looking to make a push in the top 15, maybe even try to get in the title picture, just see how far he could take it. But it just hasn't gone the greatest for him. He lost to a couple prospects, so now he's just fighting to save his job here. I mean, his career could be on the line in this fight. This is a crossroads fight for him. And Bekzat Almaken, he stepped up and he had a short notice fight with Umar Nurmagomedov to get into the UFC last year. And he got an early knockdown, but really had 0 success after that. Ended up going the full distance, and he showed he could be dangerous. He was able to scramble a little bit on the ground and get back up to his feet a couple times, but really it was just that one moment for him, and then the rest of the time he kind of got dominated. Prior to that fight, he had won 8 in a row, though, so he's going to be looking to get back on track. It has been over a year since he's fought, but he's 27, and he's been at ATT for a couple months, so we'll see if he looks rusty or improved, and it could be a better version of Bekzat that we're getting here, potentially. But when you look at both these fighters, Katona, on the feet, he brings the pressure. He has good speed. He moves in and out of range really well. Try to kind of feint and fake, move his head, change levels, keep you off balance, probe you, and then explode in with big hooks or kind of slip and counter with hooks. When he gets you towards the fence, that's where, try to push you against the cage, grind you out. He can take you down, but he is hittable, and he isn't super powerful on the feet. When he gets fights to the mat, he's really just kind of a holder, a controller, so the danger factor for him isn't the greatest, but his conditioning is really good. He's going to press you, and he's a durable guy. And for Almaken, he looks like a dangerous striker. He has good movement, good speed. He'll pull fighters into his power. He has fast counter crosses, hooks. He has good knees, good kicks. He has some sick head kicks. And he's dangerous. I mean, he controls the distance effectively. He has sharp and powerful strikes. He wants to be all the way out or all the way in. So if you can get inside on him and box, you can land on him. And he does slow down a little bit. He has a really taxing style. But you see he has some okay wrestling skills. I mean, I've seen him use doubles to win fights against guys that look like they had no wrestling and were pretty small. So I don't envision he's going to do that versus Katona. But I've seen him reverse stuff, takedowns also. Versus Umar, he did look kind of weak off his back. He got held down really easily. He did create 1 or 2 scrambles early, but that was all he really had. But, Umar's a beast. It was short notice, so I don't know how much you could really hold that against him. And he was submitted earlier in his career, though, so I will say for Katona, I think taking him down, looking to grind on him is probably what's smart. And I do see it as a dogger pass because Katona has the experience. He has better wrestling. But I don't know. I'm going to go with Beksat via decision as a pure prediction. And I could even see it being a split. But I just feel like Almaken might have the more eye-popping moments in the fight. And even if Katona has control, I don't know how much he's going to do with it. And so I'll go with Beksat by split decision. But I feel like this is a pass, honestly. I mean, if you want to have some money on it, maybe fight goes to decision. Maybe both fighters to win via split. But I'm going to go with Beksat by decision as a prediction. And the next fight we got in the card here is Daniel Santos. He's going to be taking on Jiang Yang Lee. And for Santos, couple red flags. I mean, this is his first fight since June 3rd of 2023. He is moving up a weight class, but he's on a 2-fight winning streak in the UFC after losing his first fight. Still only 30 years old, so we'll see if the move up in weight will help him. And for Lee, he is coming off a pretty bad loss where he got knocked out really quickly, and he had a couple other opponents scheduled for this fight that pulled out. So you could see that as a positive or a negative. I mean, he does have the advantage of the extra notice, but Daniel Santos gets to come in, and he never had the worry of game planning for another type of fighter or changing up his tactics and things like that. But you look at Daniel Santos, I mean, the guy's a pressure fighter. He epitomizes that shootbox style. He has his hands high. He's looking for the big right hand, the combinations when he backs you up against the cage. He has nice jabs, hooks, knees, good takedown defense. He's hard to hold down. He mixes in doubles. And when fighters slow down, that's when you see him kind of wrestle to get guys even more tired and take over a little bit. And he was able to stay safe in top position in his last fight against someone that has a pretty solid guard, and it was a strange style. It was someone that was pulling guard and really kind of forcing the grappling. It made it an easy fight for Santos because Santos stuffed all the submissions pretty easily. But, if he didn't have that submission defense, it could have been an issue for him. But you look at him, he tried to fight April 5th at 135 against Davey Grant, and he had to pull out. So that's a little bit strange to me. I mean, was that a weight cut issue? Was that an injury problem? Who knows what it was. But a month later, he's fighting up 10 pounds. He's a little bit of a plotter, I would say, as well. He kind of struggles with movers. We saw Julio Arce and Castaneda have success off the back foot against him. And he doesn't really change his footwork or his offense up. But, man, I mean, the guy has great durability. Even when he gets hurt, I mean, he's been dropped in a couple fights in the UFC. He stays composed. He'll fight through bad moments. He'll stay the course. Kind of has like that don't give a fuck mentality. And then he has dangerous offense as well. And for Lee, big for the division. Very aggressive early. Has a lot of first-round finishes. He's strong, fast hands, accurate, powerful. Walks guys down and tries to feint, pull 1, 2, 3 to you. He'll hooks to the body. Good knees. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well, and you've seen him hit body locks. Seems like he's decent on top. But if you can control him against the cage or put him on his back, it seems like if you could get past the front chokes that he tries to get on you when you shoot on him, you can hold him down a little bit. He has an issue with smothering his work. He'll crash into the clinch, Lee, and in the pocket, he can get a little bit tall, so he's hittable. His last fight, he got blitzed, forced into an exchange and then put to sleep. But he sits down, and it becomes a 50-50 slugfest. So Lee's opponents definitely are in danger as well in the pocket because he's going to be throwing heat also. But his chin is just in the air to get clipped. And his takedown defense is improved, but I would say he can get taken down. Cage wrestling isn't the greatest. Heavy on his lead leg a little bit, and he fights at a slow pace. I feel like if Santos can force him to fight at his pace, I'm not going to say he gets tired because I do think Lee has a decent gas tank, but I just think he's not going to like fighting at that pace. It's not his preferred style, but he is going to have a 6-inch reach advantage, so he's going to have to use that and his power to make the fight his type of pace. But this fight's going to be a war, and I think Santos could knock him out early. But if Santos goes out there and tries to wrestle, he could gas himself, and it could go either way. I mean, I feel like both these guys have a chance to get a knockout in the pocket. I think it favors Santos because he could throw those big hooks. I feel like he's more durable and hides his chin a little bit better, but he could get caught coming in for sure. And if this fight gets out of the first 7.5 minutes, I could see it becoming really sloppy, but I'm going to predict Santos wins via first-round knockout here as an official pick. And, man, I mean, this next fight, if you got money on this fight, man, call 1-800-GAMBLER for sure, because I just don't know what anyone's doing. I don't know how you could have an edge here. I mean, Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. Marc-Andre, I mean, the guy is a tank. He comes forward. He's tough. He's going to have his high guard. He's going to be looking to get on the inside, dirty box. He's going to cage push you. He's going to explode in, and he's kind of sneaky athletic. He's a solid fighter, but how could you trust a guy that's gotten face planted back-to-back fights? Like, those are brutal knockouts that he's taken. And I mean, he's fighting a guy with 20 knockout wins. He's fighting a guy that when he usually gets the victory, he's putting you to sleep. So having faith in Marc-Andre's chin to hold up is, to me, I don't know how you could have that much confidence or want to put your money on that. I get him being a little hungrier. It's being in Canada, his home country. He's going to push a pace. Maybe you could say he could get the takedowns. Okay, but I just don't trust his chin whatsoever. And with Bruno Silva, though, we got a guy that has lacked the hunger a little bit. He's retired a couple times recently, I believe, and came back against it. And at one point he was on a tear in the UFC, but after that Alex Pereira fight, he's kind of taken a step up a competition and fought some of the better guys in the world, and he's just came up short quite a few times at this point. Both these guys are on 3+ fight losing streaks as well. But Bruno Silva, I mean, the one thing I will say is he was fighting a lot of southpaws. He was fighting guys that could use range striking, kick him from distance. And in this fight, he's getting a more favorable matchup, in my opinion. Someone that wants to get close to him, and someone that's not southpaw, that doesn't have a great kicking game. And Bruno, I mean, yeah, he has a lot of deficiencies himself. He's not the best striker. He kind of relies on catching you. He doesn't win a lot of minutes. He can get taken down. He can be low volume. You don't know what type of mindset he's going to come into the fight with. So, man, I just don't know how you could really favor someone super heavily here. But I'm going to go with Bruno Silva. I mean, at least he's not getting put out cold. And that's just the thing for me. I just don't trust Marc-Andre Barriault's durability. And I think Silva could find the chin and probably put him out. And for this next fight, we got a 205-pound fight between Navajo Stirling and Ivan Erslan. And Stirling, he's inexperienced. I mean, 6-0, you could see that. But city kickboxing guy, brings that style, comes forward, and he isn't someone who fights on the back foot, really. It's more methodical pressure. He is upright, so he could stay mobile and pull counter, and he has good hand speed, nice jabs, good straights. He'll go to the body. Really nasty combinations. When he gets you against the fence, he really lets his hands go well. Good kicks to all parts of the body. A little stiff, though. I mean, he's heavy on his lead leg. He doesn't really move his head much as he enters range. He does have fast reactions, so he'll see the shot coming and kind of slide out of the way or just barely get out of the way and then pop you. But I think if you have a game plan of attacking the legs, going to the body, you could maybe catch him with a big head strike, especially if you're throwing numbers. But Stirling has good conditioning, and if you keep him on the back foot, you could maybe do something with him. But if you let him come forward and don't have that finesse ability to really get past the void, he's just going to back you up, rip hard shots, and beat you down. We saw his last fight versus Tuco Tokos that he got a little tired, but I think going all 3 rounds like that is just even more experience. He had a ton of volume that he threw out there. But his grappling is really unknown. I mean, he had good reaction time to takedowns and get-ups in his fights so far, but he hasn't really fought anyone good. And a good wrestler probably is going to be able to beat him up and control him right now, but Erslan, I don't know if he's going to bring that element here. And Ivan Erslan, the guy's a knockout artist. He had a rough UFC debut where he did fight a really grizzled veteran in Iwan Cutelaba, and it wasn't a blowout, but he dropped a split decision. And he's 14-4, so he's had way more fights than Stirling. His last 8 wins are first-round knockouts, and his last 9 wins in general, he finished in the first round. So usually gets his business done early, and he's a big fighter for the weight division. He has a really nice jab, good hand speed as well, and he'll use the jab to work into the pocket. He likes to get inside, shell and return, or slip and rip with big hooks. He's really explosive, and when he lets his shots go, he looks fast, he looks powerful. But when he's doing all that shelling up and waiting, I think he's going to get his body beat up a little bit. And Stirling's game plan, I think, is going to be to attack the legs, attack the body. And I think Erslan, though, for him, he's trying to extend the fight, try to do the exact same thing to Navajo, go to the body, try to slow him down, and then see who wins that battle of attrition. Try to use your experience. But for Navajo Stirling, I think that he's going to go forward and try to do that early, take away some of that explosiveness from Ivan. But Ivan is going to be more powerful. He's dangerous in boxing range. He's durable. But I don't like him in this matchup the way that he runs in with his hands down. He can get dropped and rocked, and I've seen him that happen to him in a few fights. So just has to be really aware here that that's not going to be a viable option in close distance against a guy like Stirling just running in with your chin forward. But I don't see any wrestling here really going on. And honestly, I mean, Stirling is inexperienced. He can look hittable at times, so I feel like Erslan has a shot here, but Stirling is more active. He goes to the body, which I think, like I said, is going to be a big part of this fight with the shell-up defense of Erslan. And Erslan, I think, is going to become less dangerous as the fight goes on. And I'm going to go Stirling, maybe late knockout or decision here. I don't think Stirling is a guy that has crazy power. It's more volume, and Erslan's durable. But he could run Erslan into a big shot. I'm going to say Stirling by decision, though, as a prediction. And for this next one, we got 2 vets that have never been, super high level, but seems like they're gaining confidence, maybe turning a corner, and they're looking to have big years. They both fought February 22nd and were victorious, and both currently have won 2 fights in a row, and that's Iwan Cutelaba and Modestas Bukauskas. Bukauskas, he's kind of reinvented himself. He's gone 4-1 since rejoining the UFC after being cut in 2023. And more recently, he's teamed up with Tom Aspinall, his fight team, which has given Bukauskas a lot of confidence going into these fights. And so far, he's beaten all kind of fringe UFC fighters for the most part. So this win would solidify him as a real 205 kind of contender for the top 15. And Cutelaba, this is going to be his 19th fight with the UFC, so super experienced, very erratic guy, but he's won 3 out of 4. He's won 2 in a row. He's fought some of the best guys in the world, and he's hoping that his experience for his top fighters and the lumps that he's taken is kind of forged him through the fire, and now it's his time to go. But you look at these guys, I mean, Cutelaba, the guy has great pressure. He has really good head movement early. He'll close the distance fast. He will back guys to the fence, explode in with power, and uses pressure to kind of open fighters up, and then he'll stand his ground and wing heavy punches or try to time a takedown on you and put you on your back. And if he can get on top of you, he has nasty ground and pounds, and he's pretty good there. He's getting a little better at getting back up when you take him down. His cardio is getting better, and he's a durable guy, but he is someone that's a little bit of a plotter. He can get his legs chewed up. He slows down and kind of becomes more hittable as fights go on. And he can sometimes throw himself out of position and get taken down. And even though, like I said, he's getting better at getting back up, he's not the greatest off of his back. But he's an intense, explosive guy. And I think in this fight, he has to close the distance. If he lets Bukauskas find his timing and range, it's going to be difficult for him because Bukauskas is just going to use his jab, his kicks, his long strikes to pick Iwan apart. But Cutelaba is more powerful, so if he can back Modestas up, force exchanges, that's where he could catch him potentially. For me, the entire strategy for Iwan will be to pressure Bukauskas to the cage and go from there. On top of forcing the exchanges, he has to test Bukauskas' wrestling. Bukauskas' wrestling has been a little bit suspect in the past, so if Iwan can take him down and get on top, he could probably have his best chance of finishing there. And Iwan, he has to be smart. He has to conserve his energy. But if he's effective with his wrestling, that could lead to a victory for him. For Modestas, he has good footwork. He switches stances, good counter twos, good check hooks, good calf kicks. He'll go body kicks, head kicks as well. Pretty good in the clinch. He's improved his cage wrestling. And if he can get on top of you through a body lock or through defending a takedown, he has good top control. But he isn't the most durable. He gets a little tall in the pocket, and he kind of tries to pull back with his hands high and get clipped, or his chin high, excuse me. But takedown defense, I would say, is improved, but not the greatest. And, he's going to have that on point in this fight, but he has a 3-inch reach advantage here. He has the better footwork, and he needs to try not to engage too much early, I feel like. Maybe land some heavy counters and get some respect from Iwan, and then use that to control the pace the remainder of the fight. And when Cutelaba slows down, is a little more sloppy and deliberate, then Modestas can fake, feint, counter the big actions of Iwan, and try to keep him on the back foot and beat him up from there. Cutelaba is more powerful, but Bukauskas is technically sharper. He's cleaner, and I feel like his takedown defense is going to be good enough here. It's a hard fight to predict here because I could see pass for both guys, but I'm going to predict Bukauskas uses his range and his higher volume a little bit better technically with the striking, and is able to negate a lot of the grappling of Cutelaba and get the victory in this fight by decision. And up next here, we got two fighters going in opposite directions, and it's pretty clear that the UFC is looking to build up Jasmine Jasudavicius here. She is probably, I guess you could say, Aiemann Zahabi as well, but the closest fighter in the UFC to a title shot that's Canadian, and she has done really well in Canada. She's gotten 2 finishes fighting there, so putting her on these cards, she's performed well, and they've slowly but surely been giving her better and better competition, and now she is going to fight a former champion here, someone that is a 2-division title challenger, a fighter that has wins across 3 divisions, finishes across 3 divisions in the UFC, and that's Jessica Andrade, one of the best female fighters that has ever graced the octagon. But Andrade currently, even though she's 3 years younger, which is, if you ask someone that's doesn't know their ages, you'd be a little bit surprised by that, just because Jasmine is newer in the UFC, 33 to 36. Jessica is starting to slow down. She's taken a lot of damage. She's been in the UFC for over a decade, and you could see that wear and tear kind of finally starting to show up. She's even gotten knocked out a couple times. But anytime Jessica Andrade fights, she has that one-hitter quitter ability to knock you out and get the win. I think it's a lot more there at 115 and a lot more dangerous, but at 125 she still has that power, and Jasudavicius does stand in front of fighters, and that's going to give Andrade that ability to potentially land some big heat early. I think Jasudavicius has to go to the body, Andrade has to go to the body Jasmine is a tall, long girl, so if Jessica can go to the body and potentially slow down Jasmine, take away one of her main weapons, which is her conditioning and ability to push the pace, and maybe hurt her to the body and get her to drop her hands, then she can go to the work with the headshots, because it's not like Jasmine is all that evasive. She's not going to be that hard to find or hit. She does have decent ability to kind of move around and stay long and pull you into shots, but I just don't think she's the greatest with the movement or the defense on the feet, Jasmine. And Jasmine, though, I mean, what she's going to have the advantage on Andrade, and we've seen Andrade, when she gets taken down against bigger girls, she can get kind of beat up. If you can get her in that crucifix position, we've seen her get finished there multiple times, and Jasmine is actually good at getting into that position. So I think it gives Jasmine an opportunity to get a finish. And if Jasmine gets on top, she's a beast. I mean, she has really good control, really good ground and pound. She's going to take what you give her. She's not going to be overzealous and lose position. And she's just going to wear on you and beat you up and slowly take your will away. And she's shown that she has some submission game. You know, she's gotten a Darce a couple times when fighters would try to stand up against her. She has those long arms, and she can get you tired and get you out of there and make you want to quit. So that's how she's gotten most of her submissions. And I just feel like it's her moment at this time. I mean, I thought that Lipsky was going to be a tough fight for her, which she dropped the first round in that one, but she was able to come back and really dominate, get the finish in the third. And even her last fight, I thought that could have been potentially a harder matchup than it was. So I just feel like Jasmine is getting better, and I think Andrade, even though she's a live dog, I like her more at 115, and I think if Jasmine gets on top, we're going to see a big physicality advantage for her, and I think she could end up finishing in round 2, round 3. So I'm going to go with Jasmine. I'll say she wins via ground and pound in the third round. And closing out the prelims, we got one of the other hopes for gold for Canada and Mike Malott, and he's going to be taking on Charlie Radtke. And great fight, man. Good matchmaking. I think both these guys are fighters that still have to prove themselves, but fun styles. They're dangerous. I think it's a good blend, the way that they're going to clash in the cage, and the winner would definitely deserve someone in the top 15, top 10 next. So it's a good fight for both these guys to get a showcase and the winner get a big matchup in their next fight. But when you're looking at it, Mike Malott, Team Alpha Male coach, he's someone that has really good jiu-jitsu, and on the feet he's dangerous as well. So he's a well-rounded fighter with good skills across the board. And Charles Radtke, he is training with Belal Muhammad and Ignacio Bahamondes and that crew out there, and he's been getting some really nice finishes in the UFC. His loss to Carlos Prates, but he's gotten some nice wins outside of that, and he's training with the champ, you know, so he's going to have a really good training camp coming in here and probably be very confident. So both these guys are in good situations, and you look at style-wise, Mike Malott, he has really good footwork, and he likes to move around on the outside and pull you into his power. He's super fast. He'll throw these really nice switch stance attacks. On the outside, he'll throw kicks to kind of stay active, and he's effective with leg kicks, front kicks, round kicks, and kind of just racks up the points, beats you up a little bit, and then when you try to close the distance on him, he's either looking to level change, body lock you, put you on your back, or hit one of those switch stance combinations, and he has knockout power, so you have to be very aware of the dangers that he brings while you're trying to close the distance. And when he hurts you, he looks to jump on submissions as well. So he has really nice front chokes. He can jump on the back, get rear naked chokes, arm triangles. So submission game is on point, very slick with submissions. He can catch them really quick in transitions. And his wrestling is okay. Defensive wrestling, I would say, is decent, but we haven't really seen it tested too much. I think that Radtke needs to go in here and try to take him down. And we've seen him a lot. If he gets put on his back, I mean, we saw against Neil Magny, not a great reaction there when he got mounted. He got finished pretty quickly, and if Radtke gets on top, I think we could see Radtke getting Malott out of there. But on the feet, Malott poses a lot of issues, and if Radtke shoots a sloppy takedown or gets hurt and panic wrestles, Malott has a chance to catch him in a submission as well. So for Charles Radtke, though, the guy has one of the best left hooks in the business. He has elite power. We saw him put out Matt Semmelsberger really quick in his last fight, and he likes to come forward, high guard, brings the pressure. He's going to have to figure out how to defend the kicks in this one. I think he's going to have to check the leg kicks. He's going to have to block those body kicks or parry them, figure out what he's going to have to do to get inside and avoid those switch stance blitzes. But if he could back Malott near the fence and keep him guessing by, using his power in his hands, his boxing, and that nice left hook, the 3-2s, the 1-2s, and then mixing in the takedowns and just staying on the front foot, kind of same style Belal Muhammad brings, except with a little more power. And obviously he's not as refined with it. But hey, I think that's his path to victory. And for Radtke, I've seen that body shots have been an issue for him. So for Malott, I'm trying to attack the body with kicks. So Radtke has to be aware that Malott's probably going to be attacking his body, maybe try to close that distance and wrestle him early, get him kind of afraid to throw kicks, and, keep him off balance, and then eventually you can maybe find that knockout, or you could grind out your way to a victory with the wrestling or finish him on top. So I think Radtke has more paths to victory. I feel like with Malott, he could win a decision, but I think he's going to be a little more hard-pressed to do it because I just think Radtke is durable. He's going to be walking him down, and I just think he's going to be landing some big shots, maybe getting a couple takedowns and having some moments. So Malott, I think, has to rely more on a finish, whereas Radtke could win by KO, knockout, submission, or decision, I think, a lot more clearly, kind of. And I think Radtke's going to have good conditioning. I think he's going to be able to mix in the takedowns, keep Malott off balance. And I'm going to say he gets the finish here. So going to go with Radtke, round 1, round 2, KO, TKO. And kicking off the main card, it's a cool fight. We got Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle Prepolec, but I kind of got a problem with this fight, man. Come on, UFC, you got to pay some money and get Gamrot in here. Get some motherfucker that we care about in here to fight Benoit Saint-Denis on the first fight of a pay-per-view. We got him fighting Kyle Prepolec. He's a huge favorite now. Man, I know it might be hard to get some of these guys to say yes, whatever the issue is, but, man, they could have gotten a better replacement for this card or held Benoit out and gave him a better fight because no one cares about this fight, man. Him versus Kyle Prepolec, okay, Prepolec's back in the UFC, good for him. He's a guy that has been doing well, since leaving the UFC and regional promotions, and he was going to fight on Friday, the day before UFC 315 in a title fight, so he's going to be in good shape, and he's already been in the UFC before, so he's been under these bright lights and everything like that, but, he's just not the greatest fighter. He has decent striking. Maybe he could catch Benoit with a big shot. Benoit is coming in here on an L streak, but I just feel like Benoit's going to take this guy down and probably finish him in the first or second round. It's going to be a very easy, predictable fight for him, and that's all I really got to say about it. Benoit's someone that's going from fighting top 10 guys to now fighting someone, probably not even in the top 100 in the world, so if he doesn't win this fight, UFC should just cut him. He needs to win this fight dominantly, get Prepolec out of there, and that's really all I got to say about this matchup here. And up next here, we got an amazing fight. We got Alexa Grasso, former champion, coming back, trying to get back in the win column after her loss to Valentina Shevchenko, which ended their trilogy and lost her the UFC title. And she's going to be taking on one of the biggest up-and-comers in recent memory for female MMA, Natalia Silva, and someone that everyone is super high on, that if she beats Alexa Grasso is almost certainly next in line for the title shot. So huge implications on this fight. I feel like if Alexa Grasso gets the victory, and then Valentina Shevchenko loses in the main event, we're very likely to see Alexa versus Manon for the belt. And obviously, for Natalia, I think whoever wins, if she gets the victory, it's a good bet that she's going to be fighting for UFC gold her next fight. So both these girls have the pressure on them, but that's when they fight at their best. And yeah, man, on the feet, I feel like Natalia Silva, she might be the best female striker in the UFC. I mean, her striking is phenomenal. Off the back foot, off the front foot, huge power that she could generate going backwards. And she throws kicks from close range, really good kicks from both legs, super fast hand speed, really nice crackbacks. She is hittable, and she took some, big shots her last fight. She kind of can get hit with that left hook and kind of get a little tall, float her chin, but she ate some bombs from Andrade. I was really impressed that, she dominated for the most part. It wasn't like Andrade was clipping her left and right, but Andrade hit her with some heater hooks, and Natalia held up, ate them just fine. And if you could eat the shots from Jessica Andrade, you can eat the shots from anyone. So I feel like that makes her one of the best strikers, or if not the best female striker. I mean, she has the durability, she has the speed, she can fight off the front foot, the back foot, she throws combinations, high volume, good kicks, she has knockout power. I mean, she's the real deal in the stand-up. And she has the conditioning to do it for all 3 rounds. You haven't seen her do it for 5 rounds yet, but for 3, she could do it. And the issue with her, though, or I don't know if you want to say an issue, but where you could potentially exploit her is her takedown defense is good, but we haven't seen someone really super test her wrestling. And then when she fought Teresa Bleda, I guess that's the one fight you could say there was more of a big wrestling threat. And she was caught in a triangle at the end of the first round. She, almost got submitted there. And she's had a couple of fights where she has gotten subbed. I feel like that's the path for Alexa Grasso. You look at Natalia Silva, one thing she does like to do a lot is throw spins and throw kicks, and she's southpaw. And Alexa Grasso has just fought 3 times in a row, a spinner, a kicker, and a southpaw in Valentina. And her first fight, she orchestrated a game plan to where she was able to capitalize on one of those spins, take the back, get the choke, and finish the fight. Her last fight was really disappointing because it seemed like she just couldn't adjust, and she was hell-bent on trying to get the submission off her back and did never try to get back up. And this fight, though, if she's a submission hunter in this one, I think that's her path to victory, man. On the feet, I think it's going to be difficult. I think she's going to look to go southpaw again, mirror the stance, and try to make it harder for Silva to land the jabs and lead leg kicks and try to cut the cage off, make it more of a boxing match, and grab, make it ugly. But I really think her path, though, is looking to time a body lock, or like you did with Valentina, get the back off a spin, or, maybe bait Natalia into a takedown, whatever you got to do to get it to the ground. I think if you can get, even off your back, get into grappling scenarios, that's where Alexa can get the submission. And I want to pick Natalia as a pure pick, but with the line, man, and just me thinking that she's not extremely experienced, I'm not ready to say die on Grasso yet. I think Grasso's still a very good fighter, and I think she could have a gulf of an advantage and kind of expose Natalia Silva on the ground potentially. So I'm going to say Alexa Grasso wins this fight via submission. So call me crazy, but I'm going to go with Grasso by submission in this fight. And in the feature fight of the night, we got the legend Jose Aldo. He's going to be taking on Aiemann Zahabi, who is looking to break into the top 10 of the UFC bantamweight division and move into the title picture, really. This guy's been on a really nice win streak, and beating Aldo would just solidify him as a top contender. And he needs to, get there quick if he does. He's already 37 years old. And I think that's definitely something that you got to bring up, because Aldo is 38, but it's not like he's fighting a spring chicken here. I think that UFC gave him a pretty good opponent where it's a even matchup here. Aimann's been winning. Obviously, Aldo hasn't been super active, but he came back, looked awesome against Jonathan Martinez, and then lackluster fight where Mario Batista just held him against the cage, and Aldo didn't really have that super vigor in that fight. It feel like he kind of just let himself let the clock run out, and he lost a decision there. So he's had a good vibe this week. It feels like he's hungry. He's ready to come in there and make a statement and be more aggressive and not let himself get held against the fence. And I don't think Aiemann is going to have that type of game plan. I mean, Aiemann is a lot more boxing oriented as well. So this could be a boxing fight with 4-ounce gloves on, and it could be a really, really high level one. I mean, you look at Aiemann Zahabi, the guy has some of the best defense in the UFC. I feel like I've said this in a few times now, but he reminds me of Sean Strickland a little bit with his defense. Philly shell, shoulder rolling a lot, and just difficult to hit. It seems like early on he tries to get you to miss a lot. He might move around or put some pressure on you with his feints, fakes, and get you to chase him, and then just mix it up a little bit with his footwork and not throw a lot of volume. And then when you start slowing down, when you're missing him and you're not landing, he picks it up and he's throwing these big awkward hooks from crazy angles. He has a nice body kick, and he has big power. I mean, we've seen him get some nice knockouts in the UFC. It doesn't look like he has necessarily that power build, but he can land shots and knock you out. But I do feel he's a little heavy on his lead leg. I think that uppercuts and knees up the middle are things that could potentially land on him and go into the body. So for Aiemann, I feel like he's going to be looking to land big counters on Aldo as he's coming in and use his power to control the pace and just have the bigger moments. Maybe even look to press Aldo against the cage a little bit. But for Aldo, I think, his weapons are there in this fight. The body punches, the leg kicks, the uppercut, the flying knee. I think that he has some weapons that he can land on Aiemann. But both these guys have really sharp defense. They're really hard to hit. They kind of wait for opponents to make mistakes in a lot of fights. So I could see it being a low-volume tactical fight that is a little boring and goes to decision. And I think it could be close. So I do feel like the value may be on the underdog in Aiemann. But I think Aldo is just going to land the heavier artillery. Maybe rocks Aiemann, and I think he's going to get this decision. So I'm still going to roll with the all-time great here and pick Jose Aldo to get the win. And in the co-main event, we got Valentina Shevchenko taking on Manon Fiorot. And there's a little spice on this fight. I mean, Manon's been calling for this fight for a while. She's resorted to some social media trash talk to secure the fight, which it got her this fight. She hasn't fought in over a year, so that is something that you got to take into account. She kind of waited out for this opportunity, but she got it, and her trash talk kind of rubbed Valentina the wrong way. Valentina has that, Michael Jordan, I took that personally thing going on, where she always, if you watch her throughout her career, if fighters say even the smallest thing about her negative, she is going to take that to heart and use that as fuel for her fire and really, try to find things to motivate herself for it and get intense for the fight. But man, I mean, I do think, sometimes you got to let sleeping dogs lie. I mean, Valentina's, she's older, and maybe her motivation wouldn't have been on 10 for Manon Fiorot, but I think it is now that Manon was talking a little bit. It got Valentina off the couch and probably in great shape, ready to defend her belt and have this second reign as champion. But Manon Fiorot is the favorite for a reason, because she's undefeated, 7-0 in the UFC, and not an easy out whatsoever. She's going to be the bigger, stronger, more physical fighter, and she throws more volume on the feet. I mean, Valentina is 37 years old at this point. She just had 3 fights in a row with the same girl. And even though Manon's 35 as well, she has less wear and tear. And, we'll see if she can come in here and get this victory here. But southpaw versus southpaw on the feet, Manon is a lot more basic with what she throws. I mean, she really only throws 1-2. She'll throw that side kick. She'll throw some 3-2s, but she doesn't have a lot of variation. That's what she brings. And she brings the length, the speed, and she has decent pop. I wouldn't say she has crazy power. I mean, she doesn't get a lot of finishes, but she has enough power where she could hold you off and kind of control the pace. And on top of that, she could really out physical these girls in the clinch. She can hit takedowns. We saw her against Erin Blanchfield, who's a really good grappler, have success taking down Blanchfield and defending all her takedowns, which was impressive. And she was able to go 5 rounds at a high pace. She's very high volume, even though she throws a lot of the same attacks and same weapons. She's throwing them a lot. But in this matchup, it's going to be interesting because Valentina, with the southpaw versus southpaw look, it is going to be harder to land those strikes. And Valentina has so much experience on the feet where when it's a southpaw versus southpaw matchup and these girls are both really good strikers, it could come down to just who can control the distance better, who has the better rhythm, who can kind of break the other girl's rhythm. And Valentina could have a slight edge in that. But the thing is, though, I feel like Manon throws more numbers and she's going to be a little bigger, and that's going to even it out on the feet for me. And I think that these girls are going to jam the distance a lot and end up clinching a lot. And that's where I kind of think Manon is going to use that strength and show that she's the bigger girl, like we saw Tyler Santos do. And if she could take down Valentina, she could probably get her back and control her and bank rounds that way. I don't really see a finish for Manon on the ground, but I think that she could control. For Valentina, though, I mean, if she could have a performance like her last fight where she can mix in the doubles and put Manon on her back, that's something that we've never seen before. We've never seen Manon on the ground, on bottom, how she would react to that. And I think on the feet, it's going to be very tit for tat, very competitive, very close. So I'm edging Manon just because she's younger. I think she, is bigger, probably a little stronger, and is going to be able to win the clinch exchanges, which I think is going to win the fight for her. But this fight is plus 100 for Valentina, minus 120 for a reason. It's really close. I could see Valentina using her experience to win this. I don't like the layoff for Manon. I feel like I wish she was a little more active before she got this fight. But I'm still going to pick her here, and I'm going to say Manon Fiorot wins a decision. And finally, we got the main event. We got Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Madallena. And the long wait for Belal Muhammad to get his title shot was well worth it because he went in there and absolutely dominated Leon Edwards. He shut everyone up that was doubting him, including me, and just made it look easy. He went out there and took the belt, and now he's going to try to build his legacy. He says he wants to become the greatest welterweight of all time. I mean, I don't know about that. We'll see if he could even get one title defense, but he's talking big here, and he's getting Jack Della Madallena, who I think is probably not the person that Belal envisioned defending the title first against. I think he probably felt it would have been Shavkat, but with Shavkat not being able to get to this fight at this time, Jack Della is a great replacement. Someone on a long win streak that's undefeated in the UFC, and it's a great matchup. I mean, you got Belal Muhammad, who has proven that he could beat almost every different style, but you go back, you look at his resume a little bit, he has a great resume. I'm not trying to hate on it whatsoever, but this is the most dangerous in-prime guy that he's fought in a long time. He's fought a lot of these older, established vets at this point, more recently, and I think that this is definitely a dangerous fight for him, but you could argue that Jack Della, he hasn't really faced all the different type of styles that Belal has, but Belal, he knows how to adjust. In this fight, I think it's pretty obvious that he's going to have to mix in the takedowns. On the feet, I think he could. He's underrated with the stand-up because he could fight moving backwards or forwards, which is difficult for a lot of fighters. Like, on the back foot, he could switch stances, pull you into 1-2s, you'll throw kicks, and kind of just pick at you a little bit and then time the takedowns. And since he's always having the ability to take you down in his back pocket, it makes fighters kind of hesitant to really press him and come forward. So when they're slightly hesitating, that split second, Belal can land that 1-2 or land a kick and circle out. And then eventually when you're overthinking it and waiting for the 1-2, he's going to take you down, put you on your back and hold you down, control you, and beat you up on top. And his cardio is insane. He's not going to get tired. And when he comes forward and fights up the front foot, he's good at being really active with the lead hand. You know, he'll double, triple, quadruple jab, and he'll throw jab, check hooks, jab, 1-2s, and he's always keeping something in your face and then, kind of trying to keep you on the back foot defensive where you can't really sit down and throw heat. But I don't think his defense is really the greatest. I do feel like he's a hittable guy. He comes in and you can catch him, and his takedowns in wrestling really save him because he can mix in the takedowns and get guys less willing to throw on the feet. And then when he's on top of you, there's no threat of him getting hit with big power. But you've seen fights where he's been stuck on the feet and not been able to get the takedowns as readily. He has taken some damage. He's gotten dropped in certain fights, and he struggled against the southpaw look, which I think Jack Della is going to come out southpaw in this fight. And you look at Jack Della, the guy's really freaking good, man. I'm a big fan of this guy. The guy's striking is elite, great pressure. He throws nasty combinations. He picks his shots super well, going body, going head. He's throwing long numbers. He mixes in knees, kicks as well. His defense is on point. I just think he's a really, really, really good striker. And then his wrestling is where he's had issues. He doesn't have the greatest wrestling defense. You could take him down. I do think it's going to keep getting better. And in this fight, I mean, maybe it could look better than ever. He could stuff a lot of the takedowns from Belal. But you have to think Belal's going to take him down at least a couple times. But Jack Della, I think he has really underrated grappling, man. The guy scrambles are elite. I mean, the way he was scrambling with the jiu-jitsu world champion like Gilbert Burns, getting back up to his feet, using submissions to create space to stand up, that was really good. And I just don't think Belal's going to take him down and control him. I think if Belal takes him down, Jack Della is going to get back up. And then if Jack Della gets on top of Belal, we saw Leon Edwards get on top and cut Belal open with an elbow. If Jack Della gets on top, he's definitely going to be throwing elbows from the top position and could pose some big problems for Belal. And on the feet, I think Belal could be competitive, but Jack Della is going to have way more power. And if Belal can't get the takedown and Jack Della can get more aggressive and come forward and force more exchanges and just be more offensive, he could really start to get to Belal. We saw his last fight with Gilbert Burns, the way he timed that knee. That was really great fight IQ, great shot selection, and he got him out of there with it. And I just feel like there's 5 rounds here for Jack Della to find a shot. Belal, I think, on the feet is going to be outgunned. It's going to be Della winning on the striking exchanges and being the better striker overall, even though I think it could be competitive, like I said. And I think that the whole time it's on the feet, there's going to be a potential that Jack Della could get a knockout. And then when you look at it from the grappling perspective, I could see some takedowns, but I don't really think he's going to control them or do much with the takedowns. And I think Jack Della is going to be able to get back up, and he's going to have the conditioning to get right back in Belal's face. I don't see him kind of quitting and breaking like Leon Edwards. So I'm going with Jack Della, man. I think he can get a finish in the later round, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going with Anu. I'm going to pick Jack Della Madallena to finish Belal Muhammad. I'll say in the 3rd or 4th round by KO TKO. So give me Jack Della Madallena to pull the upset and take that belt up Belal Muhammad. But there you have it, guys. It's a full card breakdown and predictions for UFC 315. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something and found this video fun to listen to. So like I said at the beginning of the video, hit the like button, comment down below, share this video, man. Let's try to get out there to as many people as possible. But as far as my most confident pick on this card, I guess I would say Benoit Saint-Denis, but he's a gigantic favorite. For the parlay of the week, the play of the week that I'm going to give you guys, I'll say a parlay with, let's see here. Actually, I'll just give you guys a play. I think Jack Della Madallena main event, that's going to be the play of the week for you guys this week. Parlays I don't really like on this card too much, honestly. So, yeah, I think, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say Jack Della Madallena is the play of the week. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back soon breaking down another fight card. Stay locked in the channel, and talk to you guys later. Peace.